So what's really exciting about this is long hair is actually, it's something that's fun and it's easy to do, but it's all about how you accessorize it and what you do with it. So we're gonna walk you through some looks here, take these things down, and Adina, what's gonna happen there?
So when we think about fashion, we think about fabric. When we think about hair, we need to start thinking about fabric and how we're setting ourselves up in using the products and layering them on to change the fabric of the hair. So how we set up Jamie's hair is we use the new Duo Volumizer. We put multiple layers of the Duo Volumizer within the top and the crown of her hair. We put not only one, we put 5 layers of the Duo Volumizer on her blonde hair. And we went in and we just did a directional blow dry, giving us the opportunity to add texture into the fabric of the hair. What we needed is to add that volume that we're looking for to create the end result that we're looking for. In this, what we're doing is we're gonna go through and we're gonna add more texture into the hair to get the end result that we're looking for. So it's just about adding product to the hair, changing the fabric of the hair, and setting yourself up so that you can win, basically. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna go through and we're gonna take horizontal subsections. Through the horizontal subsections, we're gonna take the Sam Via texture iron and we're gonna go about 1/3 of the way up the hair shaft. Once we're done with that, we're gonna go in with our quick tease. The quick tease is gonna give us a little bit of added texture into the hair that we're looking for. We're gonna crimp the hair up. We're gonna add the quick tease. Once we add the quick tease, when we go to lay the hair down, instead of just allowing it to flop down, we're gonna set ourselves up to win, and we're gonna lay the hair so it maintains that volume as I continue to work through the crown of her hair. That's what I'm doing. I'm gonna continue to do that as Hugo catches you up with what he's doing.
Wonderful, Adina. Thank you so much. Orlando, give yourselves a round of applause for being here. Woo! So on our model here, Stephanie, she's got a ton of hair. And actually, like if you feel the ponytail, it's probably about like 2 pounds, no joke. So she's got a ton of hair. I think one of the biggest challenges is how do you get this really thick, dense hair, how do you get it up? So really what we've done is we've just isolated a section from the top here, and we used a under braid, meaning that the pieces go over the top, just a 3-strand over the top here. The section just goes from the front hairline to the top of the head, and then we just continue to work all the way down. We've just isolated that out of the way, and then we took the rest of the hair underneath and put it into a ponytail. We used an elastic to fasten and actually tie that off. Now I just want to show you a little trick here. We're going to take a little piece of her own hair and just wind it around the elastic right here. I'm just going to hide away the elastic just by taking her own hair and just wrapping it around. And I have a yarn needle inside the ponytail itself. I'm gonna take a hairpin and just anchor that in and then push it right through the hole here. And then once I have that under control, I just now look for the tip of the needle here, and I'm just gonna pull that right through and then just get that ponytail holder out of the way. So no hairspray needed, no fancy trick other than just pulling it right through. So thank you. We're gonna go ahead and get that hair into a chignon, ladies and gentlemen, and we're gonna show you how that works. We'll catch you up, Braden, on how that's going. So Thank you so much.
Awesome, thank you, Hugo. So going in and talking about knots, right? You know, like top knots, side knots, Mickey Mouse knots, all types of knots, right? And would you agree, it's giving the emotion the effect of braiding without actually having to do the braiding. So simple, everybody here knows how to tie their shoe, correct? Okay, 4 of you do. Everybody here knows how to tie your shoe, correct? Yeah, so it's simple. We started with two strands, tied them in a knot. Went to the next 2 strands, tied them in a knot, and that will pick you up where we left off. We're gonna take these 2 strands, we're gonna come in from the underneath and take the top of the 2 strands and incorporate it in to the strand to the right. Same thing to the other side. Adding those 2 together and then simply just tying them in a knot. So we're gonna continue to work through the sections. And if you notice here, we've placed just the regular Dutch braid in through the middle just to give it a little point of interest, using Sammy's texture iron to create some texture, just to fatten this up. We'll continue working in through the back, and then we'll put a little, as I like to say, a little sauciness on the finish.
Working through, what I love is the idea of simplicity. We're moving into simplicity. So the idea of what I'm creating here is going through and creating a folding effect at the top half of the head by working with ponytails. Simply took Chad a C-section right in through the temple area here. So we go right to Chad here on the camera, please. Thank you. So I took a C-section right here. Take that C-section on both sides, pulling this back. Then what we simply did was create a center ponytail. Back up just a bit, Chad. Give me back to Chad, please. There we go. And back up just a little bit, Chad, so they can see your head. Yeah, there we go. All right. So we took a C-section. We took it right to the center ponytail. Once you have that, you take a vertical section, and now you take your right side and you overlap that ponytail, that elastic. Left side, connect, move the ponytail to the left of center. So you can see there's my second ponytail. When I left it to the left of center, I then took another vertical section. We covered up that ponytail, took another vertical section, and placed a ponytail to the right. Another vertical slice to the left. Now, look at where the ponytail's at. It's to the right of center. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a slice on the right side where we're tilted to the right of center, and watch how it works. All we do is we pull the ponytail down. Once we have that, you cover up that elastic. Then you come over to the left side over here, Chad. You take a section on the left side, and now I'm going to tilt the ponytail to the left of center. You're going to continue this rhythm all the way down in terms of how you work with it. Notice what we're going to create as we work down. You're going to start to see the illusion of a braid. So it's a simple way to braid the hair without actually going in and braiding. You're working with a series of ponytails. As we said, look at the simplicity, how Hugo used a yarn needle and a hairpin to cover up an elastic. It's a great trick when the hair is short to cover up an elastic. So we're moving into simplicity, and with braiding, by using ponytails, you're able to create a braid if you don't know how to braid by simply working with ponytails. Product of choice, Chad. Our product of choice is Braid Aid 03. Working with Braid Aid 03, it gives me a little bit more slip and a control. But what's most important is to coat the elastics with Braid Aid 03 so that you buffer the cuticle and you get no indentation. I'm going to continue to work down the strand, Adina, and you can start to see how it gets really narrow, and you're going to get the illusion of a braid.
So working through, and what we've done is we went in with the texture iron, and we only went about a third of the way up the hair shaft. As you can see, we got that volume in Jamie's hair that we're looking for. It's not a lot of volume, it's just that little bit, because Jamie's hair, although she has a lot of hair, it's really fine. Building that fabric up with the dual volumizer, adding that texture in there with the Sam Via texturizing, and then adding that quick tease. So when I go to touch the hair, you can see the fabric has already changed. The hair is going to do exactly what I want. Now what I'm going to go do, we've set ourselves up to win. Now what you can do is you can just go in and start to, we've created a foundation for ourselves, so now we can just create. The next piece that I'm going to do is go in and add an accessory. Right now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a large bobby pin or a large hairpin and figure out where I want to create more volume and just place something like this in. Now think about what this is doing for you. It's teaching you a little something, maybe refreshing something for you, but think about the value of sharing this information with your clients. Telling your clients to add multiple layers of something into their hair as opposed to just one layer, because they don't know that. And if you don't share that, they won't know that. So be the one to educate your clients on what the need is, what's happening with fashion, changing the fabric of hair, and then giving them hot tips and tricks on something as simple as a minor hairpiece like a barrette. So I'm going to go in, I'm going to create my end result and my vision, and we'll see what she looks like in just a minute.
Awesome, awesome. All right, so what you can see here is where the ponytail is in the chignon. It's nice and clean. On the ponytail, to do the chignon, what we did was we just did a dry check, like a little measurement of where we want that shape to be. Because of the amount of hair she's got, if you extend the ponytail really far, the shape might be too big or ill-proportioned for the overall look. The idea here, too, is to have this polish underneath with this semi-destroyed or distressed on the top. Now, speaking to brunette, The idea is you want to have incorporate more texture so you can see more of the grain of the hair, the fabric of the hair. We know that with darker color, it tends to absorb the light versus bounce the light off. So what we recommend definitely is on this is to have, like when you're doing your color work, to not glaze it too dark, to leave the ends out so you have some room for detail. You can see by leaving the ends a little bit lighter, you can actually start to see with the texture, you can see it actually come to life. So what we did too with what we recommend on this is using large hairpins. And sometimes the problem with large hairpins is they stick out. So we just bend them. See, Chad? We just bend them like this, and then what happens is you start off wrong, and then you anchor, and then you push it in, and then by the time you anchor the other side, it's right, meaning it contours to the head shape. Now, the braid that we did, all we're doing is just taking it and pancaking the outsides of it, and really we're not looking to have a really perfect braid here. We're looking just to get a lot more of an explosion of texture. So I'm just going through and moujing with my index finger and my thumb and just spreading that out so that it really gets nice and graphic over the chignon. Now, the idea too here is I was inspired by this kind of geisha feel. What I want to have happen is I want to have the little ends that kind of stick out just kind of pop out right here with these little dropouts. Now, one of the things I'll just do is anchor that in with a grip, and then I want to share with you a really great tool that we've got by Redken called Windblown. Just by a round of applause, how many of you love Windblown?
Oh.
Yeah, it's a great, great tool. I love how you could use it to really get a beautiful, like kind of just naturally tousled look. So I'm just going to take the Windblown, and what I like to do is just kind of let that kind of carry some of the little bits that we've just pulled out here. And so that's my product of choice here as far as that's concerned. We did prepare the hair with the Frizz Dismiss. She's got lots of texture, so we wanted to really get that down. That range is really awesome, just to control the hair, the fabric of the hair. But the idea here is very simple. I think the simpler, the better when it comes to hair that you have challenges controlling. And then as your skill set gets better, really start to play with more complex things. Now, one last thing I just want to show, Braden, is you can see here, you can see through on the side. So all you would do is just press down so you can see through there. That would change the balance. You just want that to stick there. So take some small hairpins and just on the outside, go on the outside anchor and then again put it into the base. That way it has a nice balance visually from the profile. So I'm going to continue just fussing around on her hair, and I will catch you up on the end.
Beautiful. So we're going now, and we're really looking at the silhouette as we dress this. As you can see, these knots have kind of formed into, this kind of, it looks like a braid, very messy, very tousled. Now, if your style is to keep it very pretty princess, then you could do just that. But as you can tell, I left my one piece in the room, and we're going to go for a little more aggressive. Here's the thing. I want to create the texture and the feel inside of the hair. How many of us know what powder grip is? Thank you for that. Woo, right? People use it like pepper. Sam likes to shoot it. I like to force it into the hair. So here's the cool part. 2-day extender. The spray is so powerful that no longer do I only get it concentrated in a specific area. I can now use the 2-day extender to push the powder grip into the hair and spread it more evenly so that the texture inside is a more even texture.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Thank you for that. So we're just going to go in and put a little zhuzh on it, like I said, a little mustard. Again, what we're looking at is the silhouette. Super important. Forever we've been making it higher or fuller at the top and keeping it tighter in the back. What you're noticing is things are sitting very anti-head shape, more volume in through the back. And so if you notice for her suitability in her face shape, it complements her jaw more to have more volume in through the back than versus the top. Continuing here with our final touches, and we'll be good to go.
All right. We're going to go over here, take the same concept that Hugo did, but we're going to use 2 hairpins. So we're going to go through, and we're going to place a hairpin, a U-shaped hairpin, with the top of the pin going underneath the elastic. Once you've got that, now what you want to do is take a section of hair, because this is a great tip to help these soccer moms cover the elastic when they do a braid. At the end, there's never enough hair to cover up the elastic. Here's your trick that's going to help you out. So we take a section, we cover up the elastic, we bring it through. Once you brought it around, complete one revolution, take another hairpin, Chad. Now all I'm simply going to feed this hairpin through that and through the eye of the hairpin that's underneath the elastic. Pull on this, push that hairpin down, come through, grab your hairpin that's underneath the elastic that now has captured the hair, and just simply pull that through, Chad, and once again, you've covered up the hairpin. Sometimes it's the most simple things that have a lot of value to it.
Woo!
So I'm going to go through, finish this off just by simply folding this up, and once you have it folded up, I'm going to come through and I'm going to make the fish hook on both sides of my hairpin. This will hold it up. This will hold it up because we folded it up against gravity. So we're going to bring the hairpin, slide that right underneath, catch some of that ponytail. That now goes up into that nape area. And because we fish hooked it, it's not going to slide out. So there's just one pin in there so far. So for extra security, you can go through and do the same thing on both sides of this. Okay, so we'll go through and we'll start to recap these looks for you.
All right, stand up for him, Jamie. Go ahead and give him a spin, Jamie. What do you guys think?
Whoa.
Ow! I hope that, yeah, right? I set myself up for that one. Well, here's what happened is we set Jamie's hair up the way that we needed to get the fabric to change so that we can move through and create a really simplified look. Something that we could absolutely transfer to our clients behind the chair. Add multiple layers of the Duo Volumizer. It's part of the new high-rise volumizing line. You can see that we went in, we crimped only about a third of the way up Jamie's hair and in the crown area to give us this volume and added the quick tease. There's not one tease or back combing in Jamie's hair. We just used the quick tease, and with changing that fabric, got this beautiful little bump in her crown. Then again, added that little hair piece. So for some refining, changing up the look, changing up the texture, we went in with that quick tease 15 again, shook her hair, gave it a little fingering around, and then go in and refine those looks. It's just, it takes fashion into hair and gives Jamie her end result. Give it up for Jamie.
Woo! Woo!
That looks, I love how gorgeous that is. It's so simple too. So on this, just to recap again, we started off with a section that isolates the top, and then what we did is we braided that. Again, it's an under braid, flat, and then we just pancaked it. And then what we did is underneath did a chignon, again, just using really just rubber bands or ponytail holders. And then, using that nice trick to kind of hide it. We even hid the one that was at the very bottom of the braid as well. Again, just using windblown to give this more of that kind of natural, messy kind of feel. But what I love about it is that, also it really complements face shape-wise. It really pulls the face up, elongates the neck. I think one of those things to think about is suitability. So please give it up for Stephanie. Thank you.
Woo. Yeah, as we look at Rebecca, as you again can tell, all simply in knots. 2 strands, knot. 2 strands below, knot. Next, third section, you take the 2 strands from the top and you add them underneath the second section into the third section, tie your shoe. Continue, repeat again. Pick up from the underneath, add to the top, pull it from under, tie it in a knot. And then again, it's just using the right product to give us the right emotion and making sure that not only is it suitable from the front, but it's suitable from the profile. Again, applause is not for us, it's for these beautiful models.
All right, with Destiny, we prepped this with Guts 10 doing a directional blow dry. Directional blow dries are so important when you're working with any kind of up style. We want you to notice that all of our interest is placed in the back and the lower back on all 4 of these looks. There's something happened. At Fashion Week, that's what we saw. Everything was happening in here. Once again, working with Braid 803 as our tool, a wet product choice of tool to work to control those sections. Taking a C section to a center ponytail. Once you have your center ponytail vertical sections, working with ponytails tilted to the right. Then we take another vertical section on the right side, cover up that right elastic on the right side ponytail, another vertical section, place another ponytail. So you just continue that rhythm, alternating your ponytails, that gives you a real simple effect of braiding. And finishing it off with our spray, Quick Tease 15. My friends, your applause is not for us, but for these beautiful, beautiful girls that are allowing us to share our passion. Show some love, Orlando!
He's got his strong beliefs. My love has got no
now.